Thank you for having me on, Brad. It's always great to be with you. And I'm actually doing really well. I put in a lot of time into some brain training, for the cognitive rehabilitation after my career ended due to concussion, and it was very successful. And I was really, really pleased with the experience, and I'm feeling really good. So thank you for asking. And then ultimately, my life was transformed by Tony Dungy in so many ways. On the business side, it was that culture does not have to be subjective. That culture can be an objective product that can be very much like a game plan that you can practice on an NFL football field, believe it or not. And Tony was the first to win a world championship built on what's called servant leadership. His belief was that if you build better men, you get better football players.
Hmm.
And he had a practicable system, not only to practice the fundamentals of the game of football, but also the fundamentals and techniques of how do you become the best version of yourself that you can be.
How do you build a better man in a day where now the internet takes over and gets into youth culture at 10 years old, 11 years old, and get
Yeah.
that out? I'm going down a path that I'm very passionate about, having just finished my fourth child going through high school and seeing of when the first one went through and what sports was all about, and now what's going on in this culture. It's completely different. How do you go about that? And in a young man trying to make them into a man, single parent as I was growing up, all the
Yeah.
factors worked against me, and somehow I made it through with mentors.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it does tie into Tony Dungy's
Yes.
common leader platform, right? And how do we approach human development in a way that is transformative versus conformative, right? It's how do we inspire people to choose to want to change?
Mhm.
And when you come in and tell people they have to change and demand it of them, then you're asking them to conform to a program. But when you lead through in the inspiration of non-negotiable beliefs that you can align, then you get people saying yes, and now they're emotionally invested in it. So how do you come alongside and transform a young man? It starts with identifying the what, why, and how of their non-negotiable belief and value system. And then just like you would in preparation for an NFL Sunday match, it's actually creating a practicable system, right? Practical and tactical examples and ways in which you can the practice developing yourself. Most most people, if you were to ask them, well, what does integrity mean? They would say, well, it means to be honest and to do the right thing. Why does integrity matter? Then they might start to struggle a little bit because they're not psychologists and they don't necessarily talk a lot about human emotion and behavior. But then they really begin to struggle when it's like, okay, how do you actually practice integrity in the workplace, and how do you develop integrity in yourself and other people? And if you can give them a guideline, if you can give them a blueprint for how to actually practice integrity consistently, now you've taken away the uncertainty of not knowing what to do and given them a game plan. It's just like when I was playing tight end, it's like if I had a question about, well, how do I improve on this block? They would give me a practical, tactical blueprint for exactly what I need to do in order to get better at blocking a nine technique defensive end.